Where the Lonely Ones Roam by Glimmerglanger. Read by Exmanhater. Hey, Adora said, catching up with her in the hall outside of Angela's official chambers. Catra blinked at her, run out, with nothing left to give to the conversation. Adora reached out and touched her arm, smiling carefully. How about I take you home? Catra nodded. Sounds good, she said. She fell asleep on Swiftwind's back, more exhausted than she had expected. She woke, disoriented, in the main square in Haven. There you go, Adora said, helping her off Swiftwind's back, her hands warm and sure. Catra said, and Adora laughed at her, guiding her towards her quarters. It was strange to realize that Adora had been around often enough to know where Catra stayed, to know how to open the door and how to navigate around the one stair that always creaked. They swayed their way over to the bunk, small and piled with old blankets. Adora tumbled them both down. Stay, Catra said, her mind full of words and signatures and beauty she'd never be able to touch. Shh, Adora said, shifting them around. Go to sleep. Catra listened to her. She was so exhausted. Catra woke up to a cold bed in the pale morning light. She stared up at the ceiling, trying to decide how much of the previous day actually happened, and settling on all of it. She pulled her pillow off the bed and pressed it over her face, contemplating screaming into it. She'd have to go down and tell everyone what happened, that they were somehow their own place, their own people, subject to their own rules, officially. She would not have to tell everyone Adora had left, because no one would ask. She sighed, tossing aside the pillow, and her door opened. She rolled her head and blinked, startled to find Adora walking through the door, blowing on her fingers. Catra sat up, frowning. She was wearing different clothes, a red shirt and dark pants. It looked like something she'd traded for down in the streets. Catra stared. She'd forgotten how much she liked seeing Adora in red. Adora smiled when she looked over, flushing a little in her cheeks, and crossing the room, sitting beside her on the bunk, the blankets still rumpled up from where they had slept. Catra blew out a breath and pressed her hands down onto the blankets. I figured you'd be on your way, she said, frowning at the floor. Adora was quiet for a moment. She shifted her feet around and reached out, sliding her fingers softly over Catra's. Catra stopped breathing all at once. I thought I'd stay, Adora said hesitantly. Catra stared down at their fingers. It felt too easy, too hard, all at once. When she'd thought about it, on the worst nights after Adora left, she'd imagined that perhaps Adora would come back if she just did something amazing, something shocking. But she'd saved Adora's life, carried her away from certain death, nursed her back to life, and that hadn't been enough. Other nights, further on, she'd constructed intricate daydreams where Adora came crawling back, professing her regrets and mistakes, begging for things to go back the way they were, while Catra stood there, immovable as a rock. That failed to happen as well. The pile of ashes that was left of Catra's anger blew aside, leaving her chest achingly empty for a moment, before warmth crept in to fill it. She turned her hand on the bed, threading her fingers up through Adora's, hearing Adora's breath catch. She turned, cautiously, to glance at Adora. Yeah? She asked. She found Adora looking at her already, her eyes soft and warm, her mouth curved into a cautious smile. Yeah, Adora said, leaning a little closer. If that's okay with you. She brushed Catra's cheek, her fingers terribly gentle, and asked, Is this okay with you? Catra shivered, nodding shakily, leaning into Adora's touch, all the words she thought she'd say if this ever happened falling away from her tongue. Yeah, she said, her voice a low rasp. Please, And Adora made a soft sound, shifting forward, kissing her, soft and terribly careful. Catra reached up, grabbing her shoulder, holding on, pushing closer all at once. Adora gasped against her mouth, her hand in Catra's hair, and for a moment a tiny part of Catra expected the door to bang open. It did not. She threw a leg across Adora's lap, tilting her head, looking for a way to kiss her better, longer, deeper. and Adora held her, warm and solid in there, murmuring, "Shh, shh," when Catra finally pulled away and wiping at the wetness on her cheeks. Catra pushed her hand away, and Adora said, achingly sweet, "Oh, I missed you." "You missed me?" Catra asked, and she meant the words to be sharp and cutting, but they came out in some aching, hurt tone that she didn't want to recognize. "Yeah," Adora said, brushing Catra's cheeks again, threading her fingers back into Catra's hair, drawing her close until their noses bumped. "I did," she said, against Catra's mouth, and kissed her again, so perfectly that Catra's chest swelled with it, and she held on, helpless against the onslaught. "So," Adora said later, the warmth of her stretched out along Catra's back, her arms slung over Catra's waist. She was tracing absent patterns on the sheets with her fingers. Her breath stirred Catra's hair. She still sounded unsure when she added, "I can stay?" Catra laughed, sudden and sharp, rolling onto her back to get a good look at Adora's face. The soft evening sun came in behind her head, turning her hair to gold. Her eyes held more warmth than Catra could bear, and below that something nervous. Her mouth was still reddened. Catra opened her mouth around sharp words and shut it again, reaching up to push Adora's hair back. "Yes," she said instead. "Please, stay." Adora smiled with her red mouth and her shining eyes, and she leaned over and down and close, and she stayed. The end.